WLE, I've just noticed you connected to the dashboard. I will call you in order to let you on the line. So, to the top of the list at the moment is Franklin Kilo. DG6OAY in the group, M0AG.
Yes, good evening from DG6OAY. Last week I was to a concert in Hamburg, and what can I report about the weather? The same. Today we have the same weather as last week and as the week before that. Some snow on the ground, temperatures around the freezing point. It's wet. Today it's also windy, so not much has changed. Radio-wise I can probably tell something about the mesh testing network here in Kiel, which did a change in speed, and I can tell about the results. And looking at the weather, I'm really looking forward to some warmer temperatures and polar activity in the springtime. But first, I give the microphone back to M0AUG.
DG6OAY in the group, M0AG returning. Okay then, Frank, it's good to have you with us this evening. And over to Lou now, GKJJ in the group, M0AG. Good evening, Lou.
Yeah, M0AUG in the group, GAKJJ. Yes, very good evening, Jeff, and good evening to everyone. Very pleased to be back, and hope everybody's had a good week. The weather in Nottingham, well, it's been dry most of the day. Light rain this evening. Temperature about 5 degrees Celsius. It's another dreary day, and I do echo Frank's comment. Yeah, band conditions. During the past week, I've done very little operating. In fact, I've hardly had the radios on to workstations. Highlights working Nick on Wednesday. I've spent some time getting a couple of projects finished. The new antennas for the satellite working have been completed. I now have separate antennas for downloaded the WinLink Express software. I've spent some time trying to sort a drive issue to Vara, I should say, HF. Everything is working. PTT, cat control, signal input, but no output. It does work with WFJTX. So anybody's got any ideas on that? It's a mystery. So back to you, Jeff. M0AUG in the group, GAKJJ.
GKJJ in the group, M0AG returning. Yes, I'm Mark, and I was aware that you actually managed to work Nick on the special call the other day. That was good. And I didn't. Mike and Ashley have just logged on as well. Over to you there, Nick. G4IW in the group. Mike 0, Alpha Uniform Golf.
Yeah, Mike 0, Alpha Uniform Golf from G4IWO. Yeah, no problem at all, Jeff, and good to pick up Lou on the net the other day. Although signals were down a bit, I don't think the propagation was absolutely excellent between us on Wednesday, but we had good fun. Lots of QSOs, lots of club members came in, and even managed CW with ON8NT. So more on the next over. M0AG in the group, G4IWO.
G4IWO in the group, M0AG returning. Yes, fine there, Nick. And it was good to get the other stations on the net the other day. And obviously we're going to get them next Wednesday, I believe. So that's good. Excellent job. And I bet you were glad to get back inside at the end of all that, with the weather, etc. Or did you operate from the home shop completely? I know previously you were operating outdoors, but maybe I did hear you mention 250 watts, so maybe you're operating from the shack in that. Okay, over to you there, Jeff in Belgium. You've been busy as well. Oscar November 8 November Tango in the group, M0EG.
M0 AUG, the group 08 November Tango. Yeah, a very good evening to everyone, or a very good day wherever you are, and also all the greetings to everyone on YouTube. 10 degrees here, plus 10 degrees, has been dry, a little bit of light rain drizzling, but nothing dramatic. And really enjoyed the net yesterday. Really have good fun. Actually, I was playing with my antennas. I have the Ampro vertical, and I have the wire antenna 9 meters long. And the Ampro vertical yesterday was better. Was 2 S points better on most stations. While Sunday I did the same, and there it was equal. They were equally well or equally bad, as you could say. But anyway, so there was this very strange observation, but an interesting observation. And it's good to have the two options, because my XYL already asked me to remove that Ampro antenna from the balcony for aesthetical reasons. But I said, no, so it has some use. It has some use with the changing band conditions and so on. Sometimes the wire is better, sometimes the vertical is better. And yeah, I just tried the CW because the conditions were not that good. There was a lot of noise, and I had the impression I was not getting through. So this is a strategy that I do also on the 2 meter contest in on the Thursday, the UK activity contest on 2 meter and 50 centimeter. If the stations don't hear me, I try to attract their attention with CW. And in most cases, that is working. And they come back in phone, that's no problem at all. The fact that I hear them in phone means that I can hear them in phone. So I just give my report in CW and get the report back in phone. So okay. More news on the next over. So back to you, Jeff. 90 AUG, the group 08 November Tango.
In the group M0EG, you're saying. Yes, fine on that, Jeff, and I know you've been busy on other things as well, and fell to the station manager complaining about an antenna. Oh, there we go. Right, we've got a new log on tonight, and it's Kilo Alpha 5 Uniform Lima Echo, and according to QRZ, that's Ralph in San Angelo. Let's introduce ourselves, Ralph. You're very welcome to join the net. We have this net running every Thursday evening. It's part of a club in the UK called Pennine, which you can read about on the website. And this is our weekly D-Star net. You're very welcome if you want to join us there. K5ULE M0AUG. Nothing heard from Ralph this time round. I'll give you a call later on once you've had a chance to listen around the group there, Ralph. Okay, over to the US again with our friend Bob. Good afternoon, good evening, Bob. November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango in the group, M0AUG.
0AUG with the group, November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango. Good evening to everyone in the UK and in Europe, and good afternoon or good evening to everyone on YouTube tonight. The weather has warmed up here to above freezing. Currently it is 1 degree Celsius, 34 degrees Fahrenheit. However, along with the warm-up came a breeze, a heavy breeze. So it really doesn't feel much warmer outside. And this morning at my appointment, I did get out, and the entire 15 miles or so of the trip was covered with snow still that snowfall we had a few weeks ago. So, but I do see it is starting to melt, but it's surprising. This is the longest that I can ever recall that I have ever seen the ground completely covered with snow. And it's been a couple weeks now, I guess. Radio-wise, I haven't done too much this week. I've had a lot of appointments. Tuesday was interesting today. I could hear Nick on 10 meters. I couldn't copy him, but at one point I could even read his call sign when he sent it out. So that was good. So I did hear Nick on. That was Tuesday morning, and Tuesday afternoon I had an appointment with my tax man, and that turned out very well. As a matter of fact, I've overpaid the government this year, so they're going to give me back a couple $100, which was nice to hear. But as I say, this week I have very, very little radio, as I've had appointments all week of one kind or another. As a matter of fact, I got home just in time to make this net today, thank goodness. With that, back to you, Jeff. M0AUG with the group, November 4, X-Ray Alpha Tango. November 4, X-Ray Alpha Tango in the group, M0AUG. Final map, I'm glad you were able to make it back in time for that this evening. It's always a pleasure to have you on this, as you know. You're an important part of our group, and we look forward to your contributions and hearing about your daughter and all the other things you seem to get up to as well. So, good evening to you, and nice to have you with us. Over to Northern Germany now for DL1 BJW with DL8 BDT in the group. M0AUG, over to you, Mike. Hope you're both well.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey, very good evening to everyone. Yeah, we are well, thank you for that. And even if the WX is really nasty here, it has been relatively mild in the last few days, around 4 Celsius, plus 4 Celsius, but several days very foggy weather. And so the air humidity was very high. It was not very agreeable weather, but okay, you have to take it as it comes along. And yesterday we unfortunately couldn't listen into the net. Because we had to do something to regulate something outside of the city, outside of town, and were on our way the whole day. But we will be back. And this morning I got a nasty surprise concerning our NFET half wave. I was trying to listen in on 20 meters very early. To see if I could do some contacts into Australia and VK and ZL, and well, nothing doing because the NFET half wave had snapped overnight. Have bitten into it, and we will repair it, of course, but now we have to resign ourselves with the Rybakoff antenna, which is not so very bad. So everything can be possible with this antenna, and of course we have still got the two indoor antennas in the loft, the 10 to 40 meter dipole, which is working very good from indoors on 10, 20, and even 40 meters. And the long wire, which is about 9 meters long, and does also a very good job below the tiles. So no problem there. But let's wait and see if we can repair the NFET half wave. Otherwise, to be mentioned, I put this already on our WhatsApp group. I've been listening in to Radio New Zealand Pacific some days ago at noontime on 11,725. And it was really very good reception here with Radio 4 and Santiago 8, so to speak. No problem there. But with a very high fading, very strong fading. But apart from that, I could follow the program very good. So it seems to be possible from the center of the North Island of New Zealand to have a transmission via the Pacific and Northern America into Europe under these conditions, which seem to be very favorable. So far from my side, passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yes, very good evening to all of you. This is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, so at the moment, as Mike just said, my activities with the NFET half-wave are stopped, cancelled, because it's the antenna which I can reach from my from my desk table there upstairs, but so no contacts with the Zygo G90 at the moment, but the Rybakov can be used here with the other rigs. Yes, I want to notice that there at the moment started a new WWA contest, WWA-YL award, which is, I think, up to March. So I can look up the details and tell you something in the next over. Even if I really don't like these special events for YLs. I think YLs are part of the community and they should be treated as anyone else. But perhaps this is a weird thought. I don't know. So with this thought, I hand the microphone back to M0AUG for the group.
TL8 BDT with TL1 BJW in the group, M0AUG returning. Yeah, interesting there. It might be a fact that, I know that YLs in the hobby wanted more recognition than just being amongst ordinary members. Who knows? And I think for organisations I know in the UK that can possibly be the case. Find 300 problems on the antennas, but you obviously got enough there to be able to work around until you get it sorted there. And thanks once again for being with us this evening, both here. Right, back to the top of the list, and we'll go back to Franklin Keel. TG6LUY in the group, M0AUG.
And TG6LUY back. Yeah, I have some news about Meshtastic and the Meshtastic network here in Kiel. You might not be interested in setting up a node, but maybe it's just interesting what they found out here in Kiel. They made an experiment with the transmission speed. The usual mode is called a long fast, which is a rather slow data rate, which is good for longer distances, but of course each packet takes more time, and so there's a higher chance for collisions if there are many nodes. Kiel had a working network, and they thought about testing medium fast. This is a faster transmission speed, but of course it comes with shorter distances. But the idea was to reduce packet collisions, and they all switched on a certain day and found out that Kiel fell apart in a few islands, but it was no longer an Netherlands, and my node could, before that, it could receive about a dozen or so other nodes, but after changing the speed, it went down to, I think, 2 nodes, and I could also not reach the other nodes because they were just out of range for my power output and the small antenna here on my location. So actually not working. They thought about doing that for 2 weeks, but after 1 week they found out that it just did not work, and now they went back to the original speed or original mode, and that what happened is that a few of the operators with the nodes, they switched the network. They went over to mesh core. So I don't know exactly what the situation now is. So there's quite a lot of Meshtastic nodes still there. But a few nodes are now operating in the mesh core network, which is not compatible. It's on the same, it's in the same band, almost the same frequencies, but uses other protocol speeds and bandwidth and so on, and of course these two networks are not compatible. Oh, my time was done. Back to AUG.
PG6LAY, the group M0AUG returning. Yeah, excellent. It's interesting to hear about the new nodes that are coming along. I've heard of them, but I've never actually had any experience with Frank. So look forward to hearing how your developments occur as they progress. I'm just going to go back and see if Ralph wants to join us again. I know you've been connecting and disconnecting there, Ralph. Kilo Alpha 5, Uniform Lima X-ray. Oh, sorry, Uniform Lima Echo, M0 AUG.
M0 AUG, K5ULE. I didn't think you were watching. I tried to connect in my XLX through DMR, and that wasn't working, so I fired up the good old trusty D-Star radio and connecting in that way. But first time check-in, I've applied for a membership with the group. I've watched you guys' YouTube presentations, and it seemed like a really good bunch of hams, so I sent in an application to join, and I'm now officially retired from my job, so I've got time to play radio, and I thought I would check into you guys for the very first time. So at least we'll go into D-Star, I guess, from here on out. Back to net, KA5ULE in San Angelo, Texas.
K5ULE M0AUG. Welcome very much to the club and also to the D-Star net as well. And a couple of overs in after Lou has just been on, you'll be able to speak to G4IWO, who's the chair of the club as well. And you're very welcome indeed. This is the group that we have every week, and as you can see it's a bit international. We've got people here from Northern Germany, and sometimes we have Fraser from Scandinavia there, and obviously Jeff from Belgium as well, and also Bob and then 4XAT. So it's quite a diverse group as well. So as I say, we've got Frank in Kiel, and then Mike Adrian are also in Northern Germany. So you're very, very welcome, and I'll pick you up on the next time round. Over to you there, Lou. G8KJJ in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group, G8KJJ. Yes, thanks, Jeff. And a very good welcome to Ralph. It's a pleasure to have new company. I did hear on the yesterday's 40 beta net, I did hear Jeff, ON8 November Tango, call in after me, but Nick didn't hear him, but I did hear him. I know he went over to CW later, but I did hear him on SSB. And congratulations on hearing Radio New Zealand, Mike. I did a lot of that when I was a shortwave listener in the the 50s and 60s. But yeah, it's in those days it was a real pleasure. You could actually send and get cards back from radio stations. I know a friend of mine who was a ham, who is a ham now. He contacted Radio Moscow. I don't really remember that one, and he got a whole box full of stuff from Radio Moscow. Anyway, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the satellite antennas are completed. The 2-meter antenna is a Moxon, and the 70 centimeter antenna is a Yagi, and both are very lightweight and work well on the rotator. The Moxon weighs in at 280 grams, and the Yagi 320 grams, not including the feeders. They would both make great portable antennas. I did try out the Moxon by contacting a station about 10 miles from West Brisbane with just 5 watts and got a reasonable report. The antenna was in the bedroom on the bed, so it wasn't a good test. I'm really waiting for some dry weather to do further tests and maybe work through some satellites. Anyway, back to you, Jeff. I've got some more on the next over. M0 AUG in the group, GAKJJ.
JKJJ in the group 10 AUG returning. Okay, then, thank you, Lou. Sorry, the mic wasn't in the right place there. Thank you, Lou, and good to hear about that as well. You're quite correct in with Mike's thing. I'm talking to the man of the North Island. That reminds me very, very much of my shortwave listening days, and they were fun days, weren't they? They were getting us into the hobby and everything else, and I must give it a try sometime again, and just reminisce on some of the things that we used to do in the hobby in the past. Okay, thanks, Lou. Over to you, Nick. G4IWO in the group, M0AEG.
M0AEG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, thank you very much, Jeff, and a very big welcome to Ralph, KA5ULE. I see Rachel, our club secretary. Ralph has got you down as a member of the club, so very much big welcome to you. We're now up to 81 club members, which we're very pleased about. We only started in the summer of 2024, and we've got, as you can see, an active little digital group here, as well as running an HF net that we did yesterday on 40 meters, and I'm quite sure we're going to have to try one a bit higher up as well one day to see who can get us on 20, 15 or 10 meters perhaps. But big welcome to you tonight, Ralph. And to Frank over in Kiel, DJ60AY, big apologies from me, because I did say a few weeks ago, I think, Frank, that one of our very active members, Owen M0OGR, Mike 0 Oscar Golf Romeo, who was out on Saturday running a special event station to take part in the 2-meter activity event on Saturday afternoon. Owen is also a member of what is called the Yorkshire Mesh Radio Club, and they've got a group of members there who are passionate about digital radio, emergency comms, and helping getting people on the air. And if you look up the call sign on qrz.com, GB2MAY, you will see the link to the Yorkshire Mesh Radio Club and a little bit about the club, and also about Mesh Radio and about what they're involved in setting up and what works and the kind of things that they get up to. So it will be very good indeed to put you, Frank, in touch with Owen M0OGR and see if we can get a bit of a link up between some mesh activists in Yorkshire with you over there in Kiel in Germany, Frank. So I think I did mention this a few weeks ago and forgot to pass it on to you. Yes, back to Jeff M0AUG. I was operating from the home QTH yesterday. It definitely wasn't the weather to go out, and I didn't have the car yesterday, so it would have meant going out with the rucksack, and I definitely wasn't going to try that one yesterday, given what the weather conditions have been like here. Currently, we have some sleet falling at the moment. Temperature is down to 2 degrees, so the snow is hitting the ground and immediately melting. But we're dropping down to freezing and below from midnight tonight, and we've got snow forecast according to our weather forecast of the Met Office right the way through till about 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon in the location where I live here outside Littleborough, a little village called Shaw, literally up in the hills. We're about 600 or so feet above sea level, but the hills are beyond me. I'm about half a mile away from the Pennine Bridleway. So we're definitely going to have some snow falling overnight tonight, and perhaps some later on in the weekend as well, and some colder temperatures. So that's the weather update from here. I've continued to play with streaming the activities on YouTube. So if people haven't had an opportunity, do go and have a look at the YouTube channel, and you'll see a stream of the net yesterday afternoon on 40 meters. And I know Bob N4XAT dropped me a note to say he listened to some of it today. So it's quite interesting. I quite enjoyed listening to it. But you will see on there, particularly Jeff Owen 8NT, you can hear on the audio stream that I had from the radio here, it was quite difficult even when you did call in to the net until a bit later on, when the conditions started to change later in the afternoon, about 1600 Zulu, we were getting the continental stations. So back to you, M0AG in the group G4IWO.
G4IWO in the group M0AUG returning. Thanks for the update on all that, Nick. I didn't think at the end of the day you'd be out in the hills, and I think at one stage you said you were running 250 watts, so I thought, no, you're sitting there in the shack, wise man. Okay there, Ralph. I want to introduce now one of the other officers of the Pennine Ham Club, which is Jeff Hoskin of Hembrake Tango in Belgium. So over to you there, Jeff Hoskin of Hembrake Tango M0AUG. Oscar November 8 November Tango in the group, M0AUG. Did you get Jeff at all, Nick? He's not coming up on the dashboard.
M0AG in the group from G4IWO. I didn't get Jeff either. Sorry, I was having problems coming in as well. Over.
Thanks for that, Nick. I'll have one more try. Oscar November 8 November Tango M0AG. 0AUG group number 4 X-Ray Alpha Tango. Usually on this round I give you my Parks on the Air update. As of this morning, I had 3,240 parks. That took 11,888 QSOs. But on about the last update, the last official update on the side that you fellows can see, I was 730 worldwide as a hunter. So I really can't complain about that. I do have a couple other comments. Frank, I believe that a couple of months ago, you sent me a photo where you had a node up in the balloon for your Meshtastic, and you did fairly well on it. I belong to another club in the UK,
the Bedford and District Club, and there are several members on there that are really into Meshtastic also. So just a second, Lou, back in the early 50s, SWLing was the thing. I remember Radio Moscow, of course, everything had to go through Box 88 then, and also HCJB Keto used to send nice gifts out, but I was a big shortwave listener then, and then in 1954, of course, I got my ham license, and in 1955 I went into the Navy and became a radio operator for the Navy, so, but a lot of fond memories on SWLing. Of course, today everything has changed. Today I talk to a little round box in my bedroom, and I pick up stations from around the world now through this girl that talks back to me, and I can change her accent, by the way, to what I like. So I like that. And Nick, congratulations on that. I think it's OBS is what it's called. The audio is coming through very well on the GB1PH. I do notice a lot of static on some of the stations, but you're doing a fantastic job, Nick. And one of these days, the propagation is going to be there where I'm going to work you with 10 watts. I get a kick out of, and I can't think of John's call sign, but John, who also with Coda, I saw yesterday where he had worked Keith, and it's a pity that our band plans are a bit different, because almost every morning Keith starts out on 40 meters, 7213 or so. And usually every morning I work him. So there you go. Welcome aboard to Ralph. Fine net and excellent programs on Wednesday nights when we have our get-togethers on Wednesday nights on Zoom, and I'm sure that you'll enjoy some of them if you haven't already looked on YouTube, as Nick posts them on YouTube also. Mike and Andrea, I'm sorry to hear about your antenna problems, but I know that you'll correct them. And years ago, and even today, antenna work is the thing. One can have a radio with 10 watts, and with good antenna, they can still work around the world. That's another thing I remember back in my TV days, where you could work around the world on 5 watts. Now, that was in the, I guess, early 50s. A lot has changed over the years. I do have a photo. I was going to do a ship, but I've been so busy this week I haven't had time. But I do have a photo for this evening also, Jeff. M0AUG with the group, November 4, X-Ray Alpha Tango. November 4, X-Ray Alpha Tango in the group, M0AUG setting. Yes, fine on that, Bob, and thanks for your contribution and everything else. Interesting to look back at the shortwave listening days, and it's something I think we tend to neglect as we move forward in the hobby. So something for us all to revisit. So I hope Jeff's back on with us. I think you've done a reset there, Jeff. Oscar November 8, November Tango in the group, M0AUG.
Yeah, Oscar, like 0AUG, or an 8 November Tango. I was just talking and then looked to the dashboard and I was not there anymore. So Bob was talking each side. Well, first of all, a very warm welcome to Ralph, Kilo Alpha 5, Uniform Lima Echo. Very welcome, Ralph. Nice to have you on board here, both in the net and in the club. Brilliant. And to Lou, I have to congratulate Lou with your antennas. Really looking forward to your tests and see how that is developing. And very strange that WinLink is not working. One of the issues I had with WinLink was in the computer and the PC. I have to change the volume from the microphone. I have to put that up quite a lot in order to get a reaction. So it went from 11% to 50% in order to get that working. So that's maybe a tip. But we can get in contact if you have still problems. I can probably arrange some screenshots of my settings and things like that. So just drop me a note, Lou, if you need that. And very good memories there, Mike, about Radio New Zealand. I have been along that route also. I just like you, with my very first wage from my very first job, I got the satellite, the Grundig satellite 3400, which was a splendid receiver. I really enjoyed that, and I used that for years. So really good memories. Radio-wise, I had some good 3DV Radi QSOs actually on 40 meters. With one which was very special actually, which was with Fox 4 Lima Victor Foxtrot, the French station. I had a QSO of 35 minutes, 40 minutes nearly. And the interesting thing is, if you want to look to his QRZ page, Fox 4 Lima Victor Fox, it's all homemade transceivers, quite impressive, and SDR homemade transceivers. So really impressive setup that he has. So I really had a very nice QSO there. And one of the things I have also done is with the celebration of the National Society in Brazil, they were broadcasting some SSTV pictures from through one of the Russian satellites, and I got that, and I'm awaiting an award to celebrate that. 10-meter conditions have been brilliant, really brilliant over the last couple of days. And I managed to work on the morning, I think Tuesday morning, I got a whole bunch of Japanese stations. And then I got VK8 Delta November Tango, which is a new one, the Northern Territories in Australia. I haven't worked that before, so that was a good one. And then also Delta Uniform Zero Alpha, which seems to be a special station also. And then over the weekend, I took part in the Mexican RITI contest and made some 89 QSOs, I think. Conditions not brilliant, but anyway, I made some 89 QSOs. And as a picture, I will send my award that I got from the SSB CQ Worldwide Geeks contest, being the first for Oscar November in the QRP class. I was probably the only one, the only Oscar November in that class, but anyway, and the 11th on European level. So really looking forward to send that picture, because there is a lot of detail. Interesting to see how good you could read the details. So back to you, Jeff. Mike 0 AUG, the group, 08 November Tango.
08 November Tango in the group, M0 AUG. Yeah, thanks for that then, Jeff, and look forward to catching the picture later on in the session this evening. And again, just for Alf's information, a lot of the D-Star radios have the capability to be able to send pictures. So what we do in this little group at the very end, there's usually about, sometimes as many as 5 people send pictures that we can all have a look at on our D-Star radios. So that might be something you need to look at in your situation. We've got people who use, like my radio 705 and Nick. Jeff uses a different ICOM radio, and Keith, who's not with us this evening, sends it out for an ICOM 5100. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Lou either uses an ID 50 or a 51. So there we are. These are the sort of things we get up to on this group, and I hope you'll join us and continue to enjoy the hobby with us. So, where are we up to now? Bob's had his go. Back over to Northern Germany now. The net's got a little bit disorganised in terms of its original batting order, because people have been dropping out and popping in. But no problem. I've got a note of it on the pad. So, back to you, Mike and Adriana. DL1 BJW with DL8 PDT in the group. M0 AUG for you, Mike.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Julie Whiskey. Yeah, also, again, many interesting topics on this net, and interesting news also. First of all, a big welcome to Ralph, Kilo Alpha 5, Uniform Lima Echo. Herzlich willkommen, as we say in Germany. And congrats to Bob concerning your new quota achievements there. Always amazing what you get as a result there. It's great, really. And on 8 November Tango, Jeff, also very good results you mentioned there in radio-wise. On my side, contacts into Colombia, into Japan on 20 meters, astonishingly, into Brazil, and also to our friend Joe Urick, Alpha India 0 Yankee from North Dakota. That was very nice. CW-wise, there were many interesting lines of propagation into South America, obviously, working several Brazilian Zulu Victor stations, which celebrate kind of jubilee from Brazil. Also from French Guyana, Foxtrot Yankee 5 Kilo Echo is always a sure bank to work, HI. And also from Trinidad, 9 Yankee 4 Mike. But also 2 stations from Africa, and I found that really nicer than the others. There was 5 Zulu 4 Victor Juliet from Kenya, and surprisingly, Foxtrot Radio Stroke Golf 3 Juliet Uniform November from Réunion, UK ham, holidaying in Reunion Island, and that was especially surprising for me because at this time I could only hear 2 stations in the 10-meter band, and he was one of them, and I hadn't much hope, but I gave it a try, and actually he came back to me, and that was very nice indeed. But it's always you encounter phenomenon you can't explain. Things who shouldn't happen but do happen nevertheless, and also the other way around. You expect that you will have lots of contacts and then nothing doing. I've had all of these experience already, and there's no end to it, obviously. So far from my side, passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, first of all, good evening to Ralph. It's good to hear you on the net and to have you here in the group. Yes, I want to mention the activation of 145 Alive last weekend. Unfortunately, it was not possible to get into contact with you, Nick, and with the others here. We heard you slightly, but it was not possible to contact you. But my compliments, my real compliments for your activation under this weather conditions. It was cold, it was wet, it was nasty weather, and you all stayed there and played radio and made up huge antennas and so on. This was quite amazing. And now I have looked up the WWAYL contest. It's a little bit different from what I told you. It will take part in March, only for 1 week, from Monday the 9th of March up until the 15th of March, 1 week. And the rules are similar to the WWA contest. You can find it if you Google WWA and then YL award, then you can see the rules. So this is all from my side. I hand the microphone back to M0AUG for the group.
Delete the BT and the group with the L1 BJW M0AUG returning. Yeah, out of interest, Ajahn, there is a special organisation in the UK called BYLARA, which is dedicated to YL operators. That's BYLARA, if you want to Google it. And it's been around a long time, and it's dedicated for young lady operators. Okay. Boss of the group, now it's time to bring Ralph back in. I think you've met most of the crowd so far, Ralph. Kilo Alpha 5 uniform Lima Echo, M0 AUG.
M0 AUG K5 Yoli. Well, first off, I want to thank everybody for the warm welcome. It has been a real pleasure to join you guys, and I will certainly be back more often. I have this event in my phone to remind me, so I'm looking at how to send pictures, and I don't know if this radio will do it or not. It's an ID51, so I'll look into that and give it a shot at some point. So anyway, that's all I have. I'm retired, so I've got things to do around the house, and I'm always on HF. I run a lot of digital modes on 40 meters. And so, in fact, I think there's a teletype contest this weekend, RTTY contest, so I may try to jump on that and have some fun with it. So that's about all I have. I'll catch you guys on the YouTube, and pleasure to be a member of this group. I think I'm going to really enjoy it. So again, thanks for all the welcome. That's always nice to hear. So we'll turn the net back over in M0 AUG KA5 Yuli.
KA5 Yuli and the group M0 AUG today. Yes, fine with that, Ralph, and you're very welcome to the club and also to this group as well. You've met most of the people who are the regular people in this group this evening. We sometimes have Keith from the Scottish Borders and also Fraser over in, I'm not sure it's Norway or Denmark, but over there. Fraser comes in sometimes as well. So we're quite an international group, and you're very welcome. I'm grateful for you joining us and also for joining the club. Okay, one more call before we go to the top of the list again. I'm going to go to Paul, G0TVB in the group. I've noticed you're on duty too, via PS7LIM. Are you coming in just for a show with us, Paul?
So I will, G0TVB returning in a minute. I can turn this off. I'm trying to do a few things at once here. I'm getting QZ2 on the mobile phone, and I'm actually in Prague at the moment, so that's where you should be if you're getting me location, not the seats, because I've set it right there. So I'm just in a hotel in Prague with the ID52 and Uzi. So no RF going out here at all, so I don't think I need to say okay stroke, because I'm not actually transmitting apart from through the mobile phone network. There's a sort of I've got the hotspot, it doesn't seem to want to work on the hotel Wi-Fi. It's got a bit of a Moncom. Anyway, I'll pass it back to you, Jeff. I hope you can't hear me okay. M0 AUG in the group, G0TVB.
G0TVB in the group, M0 AUG returning. Yeah, loud and clear to you from Prague there, no problem at all. I saw your name pop up before, and then I saw you connected to David's network in Holland there, so I thought I'd just give you a shout. Thanks for joining us this evening. As you can probably tell now this time, we're just about to go around play the whole group of finals, and some people will be sending a piece in as well. But obviously, you're welcome to join us anytime, as you know. We'll stay with us, until the night's finished. Back up to the top of the group again now. Back over to Frank and Keel. TG60AY in the group, M0 AUG for your final, Frank.
TG60AY returning. Yeah, towards Nick. I'm generally interested in mesh testing, but I think I'm throwing more or less passive. I have a node running, and actually I've flown it twice on a drone because I was curious if that would increase the range. Yeah, it does, but the power levels are low, so it's interesting, but I'm not very active in participating in the network. I'm looking towards springtime in Malta. We already have rented an apartment on an island in April, an island in the Northern Sea, and this island qualifies as Porter Park, has a Porter number, and the Northern Sea National Park around the island also qualifies as Porter Park. That seems to be a Porter Park without any piece of land. The Porter Park begins, or the border of the Porter Park is 100 meters off the shore. And so we'll probably do some QP activity, but I have to wait for low tide, walk out into the warm sea, set up my station there, maybe on a stone wall or so, and then I have to finish my activity before the flood comes back. And that's what I'm currently thinking about. Better or plans for April, and maybe there's also the Polar Activity Weekend, and I'm not sure. I have to look that up. So I hope to be more active and activate 2 more parks then. But still a few weeks ahead. Okay, so thanks to everyone for all the contributions. I heard some interesting stuff again, of course, as always, and thanks to Jeff for managing the network again, and have a nice week, and I hope everyone is getting better weather, warmer temperatures, and that spring is coming soon. So, that's me from Kiel, Germany.
TG6RY, the group M0A02. Great to have you with us this evening there, Frank, and thanks for your contributions. I look forward to catching up with you again. So, before we go much further, Lou, I didn't ask you whether you got a picture for this evening later on. GHJJM0AUG.
AUG in the group, JKJJ. Yeah, I do have a picture, Jeff. I've got a picture of the antenna, the 70 centimeter 5-element Yagi, and it's got a gamma match, a 25 puff or picofarad beehive cap, which is probably a wartime issue, and it's got a gain of about 15 dBi at 5 degrees. I think its overall gain probably is about 660 dB, or maybe a little bit more. Just want to comment on Bob, what Bob had to say. Things have changed. You're quite right, Bob. Things have changed since the 50s. I've still got my original 50s radio receiver, and it's in the garage, but I don't think I could move it now. When I was younger, I used to move it about quite a lot, but I don't think I could move it. I'd have to get somebody in to move it. And thanks, Jeff. I probably will get in touch with you if I continue to have problems with WinLink and Vara HF, because I am struggling with that at the moment. But it may come good tomorrow. We'll see. And I think, Ralph, that ID51 plus an Android app, RSMS1A, would share pictures, no problem at all. I think that's right. Anyway, thanks to Jeff for hosting the net, and it's been a pleasure again this week. So back to you, Jeff. M0AUG and the group BAKJJ.
JKJJ and the group M0AUG returning. Yes, thank you there, Lou. And we look forward to your photograph shortly. I'm just trying to establish now who on the list has got pictures and who hasn't. I think there's yourself, Jeff. I'm assuming that Nick probably has a photograph there. I'll take that as read at this stage. And also Bob in the States. So, before we get on to the picture round, we'll go to Northern Germany. And for you, Mike and Arjava, for your finals. DL1BJW in the group at DL8BDT, M0AUG. I hope you had a good evening. We certainly have. Thank you very much.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey with the final. Yes, it was a nice meeting and very good informations and topics there. It's always a pleasure to be part of it. Thank you for that. And thank you to Jeff, M0AUG, for doing the hosting again, doing an excellent job as always. But it is an excellent job. Thank you for your trouble there. We will spend the weekend, the upcoming weekend, starting tomorrow on Friday, out of town, about 140 miles to our south here, and be part of a meditation course in a monastery that should be really interesting. We're looking forward to it, but believe it or not, the WX forecast just told us that the bad weather, which should have been to be expected on Saturday, will come already tomorrow when we are on our way on the Autobahn, on the highway. So it will be a very interesting experience, I'm afraid. But we are seeing this through, and we hope that everything will be okay. So thank you again for your company. Wishing you all the very best from Northern Germany, and hoping to see you all safe and sound next week, or perhaps even in between on the air. This was Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey, passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, also from my side, thank you very much for this interesting net and this interesting evening. Hope to meet you soon down the log, and I wish you all the best. 73 and 88 from Northern Germany. Bye-bye. Handing the microphone back to M0AUG for the group.
DL8 BDT with DL1 BJW in the group, M0AUG returning. Thank you all, as ever, for being the good part of this group. And I hope the new people who are joining the group realise the friendship and the bonding together that this little group has, and it's certainly nice to have. On your journey, stay safe, and I look forward to catching with you both next week and hearing about your experiences there. So, some please from me. So, just before we start with the pictures, I'll go over to you then, Nick, if you want to give your finals, and then we'll start the order of the pictures then. G4IWO in the group, M0AEG.
M0AG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, thank you very much, Jeff, and good to hear all the various contributions, especially from Paul. Good to hear you, Paul. You're actually should be the closest person to my home location on the net tonight. Where you live, Paul, as you know, because we've worked locally as well on 2 meters, you are only 8 miles away from the home QTH here, so a bit further away tonight, but good to hear you on the net, Paul. And to Ralph, to Ralph in the US, KA5ULE, we do have a number of very active participants in the RTTY contests over here. We've got Sir Jeff ON8NT, Keith GM4JKZ, and Jim G4JBA, all of whom are regular participants in RTTY contests. And just before I go on to a couple of bits of news, to Mike and Adriana, I discovered exactly the same. I have 2 wire HF antennas at the home QTH here. One is an inverted L end-fed half-wave, and the other is a inverted V off centre-fed dipole. And I looked out of the window a few days ago when it was pouring with rain and in the middle of some very heavy wind to see that my end-fed half-wave wire was trailing in the ground and had clearly come down. And it wasn't until yesterday morning that I was able to get outside without there being rain to sort the wire out and put a new piece in and to get it back on the mast I've got on the side of the house here. So obviously this is a common feature of amateur radio, isn't it? When heavy winds do eventually take their toll on any wire antenna, or indeed any antenna we've got up, unless we're extremely lucky. Next week we've got, on Wednesday, we've got DL8JJ Emil, who's going to give us a talk about the expedition he participated in at the end of last year to Sierra Leone, and 9L8MD, as well as going across to Banana Island, where I know that Emil was the first radio amateur ever to make any contacts through EME while he was out there in Sierra Leone. So that's pretty good first for Emil there. And coming up, we've got coming up, because I had a long chat yesterday with Martin, M1MRB of the ICQ podcast, who was touching base with me to apologise that he hadn't been to any of the club meetings for a while, mainly because the schedule of their recording for ICQ podcast was conflicting with the schedule for our meetings. So I said to him there's no need to apologise, but I did follow up with him his offer to me before Christmas to come and give us a talk about his experience of building the QMX Plus transceiver. And he's agreed to do that. It's in the club calendar. But he was telling me that when he gave this talk online to the Sutton and Cheam Radio Club in South London, having given the talk, it turned out that Hans Summers of QRP Labs, the inventor of the QMX, was actually in the audience. And he was, I said to Martin, that must have been some experience. He said, no, he was absolutely fine. He was lovely. And he answered lots of the questions as well as Martin on his experience of the build. So that will be a very interesting evening, I'm quite sure, talking about his experience of building the QMX Plus. And we've got other meetings coming up, and as I finally get them confirmed, sometimes it's more difficult than other times, I'll let everyone know. So 73s everyone, I will try and send a photo. I do know, because I'm linked up tonight and streaming on YouTube through OBS Studio, when I did that last week it seemed to keep my audio connected as well. Hopefully that won't be the case, but we'll see when I press TX all later on. 73s everyone, and thanks for a really good night. And M0 AEG in the group, this is G4IWO.
Okay, Jeff, QRX.
G8, in the group, M0AG. I just locked in lost connection there. Sorry there, Lou. Can I go over to you there, Jeff? Because I didn't get the picture.
Yeah, I have 87% of the picture, Jeff. I only have 87%, so quite some blocks missing. So if Lou could send that again.
M0AG. 100% for me that time round, then. Over to you, Jeff.
100% also here. Thank you, Lou. Very interesting, nice picture.
Over to you there, Bob, for your comments and 4XAT. 95% the second time, Lou. I got 87% also the first time, and I could see the whole antenna the first time. The second time, of course, it filled in a lot of the blocks, but I don't need a resend. It's fine the way it is, and I can see the entire antenna. I could see it on both transmissions. I could see the antenna. Back to you, Jeff. M0AG and 4XAT. 4XAT, M0AG, that's fine, and we'll go over to Nick for your comments, please.
Yeah, G4IWO returning. I got 100% copy on the first transmission. Lovely picture, over.
Thanks for that, Nick. Back to you there, Bob. M4XAT, M0AG. Do you want to send your picture now, please? Thank you once again for running the net. An excellent job, and an excellent net once again. Lou, you brought up a lot of good memories. Back in 1957, I was stationed in Turkey, and I believe my receiver at that time was a Holocrafters S38, but I'm going to have to pull off that photo. As a matter of fact, of course, that would be a black and white photo, but I may use that for one of my Thursday transmissions I hide. And as I've been busy all week, I haven't had time to work on any shoot photos, but I have a photo similar to the one you sent, which is just two colors, and it's mostly blue and white, and of course the white is snow and ice, and it's the mole at Warnemünde, which is covered with ice. Normally the mole is green and white. Today it's white, or last week it was white when I received this photo. Stand by, I'll send it. Thank you, Bob. 100% with me. Over to you for your comment, Lou.
Yeah, 100%. Nice picture, Bob.
Thank you, and to you, Nick.
Yeah, nice picture. 98% here, but only a couple of little blocks at the top didn't detract from the picture. Over.
Thank you, Nick. And for you, Jeff.
Oh, in. 100% here, Jeff. Okay, nice picture. Very nice.
Thank you for that, and thank you for the picture there, Bob. Look forward to catching you with you next week. Have a good week. N4XAT, off with Mike Zero Alpha Uniform Golf. Take care and stay safe, Bob. Look forward to speaking to you soon. Right, over to you, Nick, for your picture, please. G4IWO and 0AUG. G4IWO and 0AUG, 100%, and nice picture as well there. Over to you for your comments, Lou.
Yeah, very nice picture, Nick. A bit warmer than Bob's. Go ahead.
Thanks, Lou. I think that was probably taken at Hollingworth Lake, if I'm not mistaken, or somewhere around, not far from where Nick's living now. Over to you for your comment about N4XAT.
It is a bit warmer than mine. Hi. Excellent percent here.
Thank you for that, and over to you, Jeff.
100% here too. Very nice picture.
Okay, then, thanks for that one, Nick. I'm assuming it's Hollingworth Lake, yeah?
G4IW returning. Yeah, it is Hollingworth Lake, and that wasn't taken in the last few weeks. It was taken in the summer of last year, and sadly the picture at the back, the hills at the back, was the place where a tragic light aircraft accident happened last week, where 2 people were killed when they lost control of a light aircraft. It came down very low over the lake and hit the hillside in the back of that picture there, and unfortunately the pilot and the passenger on board were killed in the flight. But that is indeed Hollingworth Lake. Back to you, Jeff. M0AEG G4IWO.
Thanks for that, Nick. G4IWO, M0AEG. Over to you for your comments and then your picture, Jeff. November Tango M0AUG.
Okay, Mike 0AUG, the group ON8 November Tango. Yeah, okay. First of all, Jeff, thank you very much for sharing the net, hosting the net here. And thank you very much to everyone also for contributing all these interesting items we have discussed this evening. So very interesting. Maybe Meshtastic, Nick, is maybe something, if we could convince Owen and Frank in Cube to make a presentation together about Meshtastic, that might be interesting, because this is something which is new, and it's also a field, I think, which could bring some new amateurs into the ham radio. So I think that's absolutely true. This is a little bit like CB in the 80s and the 70s, which also bring quite some new blood into the ham radio community. So maybe it's something we should probably discuss about in a meeting. Okay, this weekend I'm looking forward to the WWRTTY. I don't know what the conditions will be, but anyway, I will give it a try, and probably I will meet Rolf in Texas there, Kilo Alpha 5 Uniform Lima Echo, and also our good friend Keith Golf Mike 4 Juliet Kilo Zulu. And in the last contest, I also saw Jim passing by, but I did mark him. G4 JBA was also active on the last contest, so he will probably be active next weekend also. Okay, my picture is the diploma that I get for the SSB CQ Worldwide DX contest that I took part in the QRP 10 meter part. So that will be the diploma. It's a little bit challenging because it's quite a lot of detail, but anyway, I think it's an interesting test. So QRX.
Thanks, Jeff, 100%, and congratulations as well. Over to you for any comments, Lou.
Yeah, it's a nice picture. I'm a few blocks missing. It's about 90, I think about 94%. Go ahead.
Would you like Jeff to send it again, Lou?
Yeah, yes, please.
G8.
Over to you, Jeff.
M0 AUG.
Okay, here it comes, QRX.
ON8NT.
Thanks, Jeff. How was that one, Lou?
M0.
Yeah, that's perfect. And a good detail, Jeff.
Thank you for that, Lou, and thanks for joining us, and look forward to catching up with you next week. Over to you, Bob, for your comment on Jeff's N4X8M0AUG. This is N4X8D. Congratulations, first of all, Jeff. 99% on the first go-around. I was missing one block. Second go-around, you filled in that block. So, and the detail on that, it's remarkable. I can read the whole thing, even on my 705. If I put it on the larger picture, I can read the whole thing. So, excellent detail. Back to you, Jeff, in England. M0AUG and 4X8T. And 4X8T, M0AUG. Thank you for that, Bob. And take care this week, and we'll look forward to catching up with you next week. And over to you, Nick, for your final comments on Jeff's picture.
Yeah, G4IWO returning. Yes, I've posted it on the Pennine Ham WhatsApp group as well, all the pictures actually. and you can read Jeff's picture. It is quite remarkable, and I'm like Bob using the IC705, and I just enlarged the picture to the larger picture by touching the screen, and that's the result of it. So it's obviously degraded a bit by being taken off the video camera here and put through the internet again, but still pretty good quality, isn't it? Over.
Thanks very much, Nick, and I don't know whether Paul in Prague you've received any of that at all. G0TVB M0AG.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Some of them, some bits of them, it seems to time out, does this doomsday. But one thing I can tell you is that last Thursday, I wasn't in Prague. I was in Hendon Bridge. And I was in a pub in Hendon Bridge. And I was waiting for a friend of mine to come, and he didn't turn up until a bit late. He got held up being somewhere else. And last Thursday night, I got absolutely perfect pictures from G4IWO, ON8NT, GW4JKZ, and N4XAT, and they were absolutely perfect. And I'm using the same setup as I did now. It just so happened I was playing about, I was just sat at the table waiting for him to turn up, and I was just playing about with the radio, and I thought, oh, I know what, I'll try to connect it to Doozy and see what's going on. And I got absolutely perfect pictures. That was last week. This week, it seems to time out for some reason or other, after about a third of the way down, and I can't quite work out what's going on there. I don't think the internet connection is that one in this hotel as it stands. That's you, Jeff, from G. I hope you got all that from G0 TVB.
Fine on that, Paul. Sounds like you need to put some more money in the slot. Thanks for joining us this evening from Prague. We've had a good night tonight, and enjoy your time over there. And we'll look forward to catching up with you again. M0TVB, M0AUG, 7-3 for now, Paul.
7-3, Jeff. Yeah, there is a repeater, actually. OK0XCS is a D-star repeater, but it's stuck on DCS19. Can't move it, and after whoever was running the repeater has stuck it on the Czech net. But it's on a big hill. And it is quite good. There are 2 or 3 other repeaters in Prague. There's 2 on the big television transmitter with a 70-72 meters FM one. But there is actually a D-star repeater here as well. But the only thing it will go on is DCS. I think it's 19C or something like that. And the call sign of it is OK0HCS. So there is a bit of D-star here. I can access it. I've connected to DCS 305. It doesn't let you do that. Never mind, 7-3 everybody. Thanks for letting me in. I'll no doubt speak to you again soon. Back to you, Jeff, from G0 TVB.
Thanks, Paul. Good if you joined us, even though it was from Prague. And I'm fine on that with the Doozy as well. So, unless you've got anything further to add there, Nick, and just to let you know that anybody who wants to look at the pictures, Nick has kindly put those on the YouTube channel as well. Back to you for the final link before I close. G4IWO in the group, M0AEG.
M0AEG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, good evening, and I hope viewers live on YouTube have enjoyed it tonight, and those who catch up during the week, hope you find this of interest. Do feel free to join the net at any time. It's not an exclusive group. We're happy to have anyone come in and join any of our meetings, both in online, on Zoom, on the Wednesday nights, or indeed on the digital net on a Thursday. So thank you very much for taking part. And Jeff, thank you, of course, again to you for running the net. Good evening, everybody, and see you all next Wednesday. This is G4IWO passing back to Jeff, M0AEG.
G4IWO, M0AEG here. Thank you, everybody, for taking part in the group this evening. And Mike and Adriana, I know you were not into the picture as well, but I hope you enjoyed the evening as well. I'm sure you have. And we look forward to catching up with everybody next Thursday evening at the same time. Stay safe, everybody, and take care, and look forward to catching up with you next time. M0 Eugene, I'm closing the Pennine Ham digital method of Thursday evening, and thanks to all the contributors tonight, and anybody who's now watching it on YouTube. Hope you enjoy it when you come back to see us again. 7-3 for now.